Hello everyone, my name is Wijaya. I'm an international business management student from Petra Christian University. As a final year student, I would like to share a little bit about myself to answer the questions of who I am through the self-assessment test. And besides my core competence, I will also to share a little bit about what I learned and also my future development plan. So, in order to have a better understanding, I would like to use a framework developed by Professor Dr. Kitty Chan called the Action Learning Framework. So this is the Action Learning Framework. It consists of what, why, how, who, when, where, and also how much.
So first, let's talk about what, which is related to what should I discover about myself. This is more about what is my core competence that later on will be used to achieve my future development goals, and there will be 5 tests that help me to figure that out. So those 5 tests fall into 3 big categories. The first one is talking about the individual competence. This is talking about your internal capabilities and personality. The second one is team roles, which talks about how you work in a team with other people. And last but not least is about the organization capabilities. This is talking about your capability to lead an organization. Let me show you what the meaning behind those 5 tests. So the first test is about learning styles. It divided into big 4 categories, which are pragmatist, activist, reflector, and also theorist. Based on the test, I have a very strong preference in a reflector. This means that I like to think in detail before taking action. I also tend to be careful and thoughtful in making any decision. From the test, it is also shown that I emphasize on the practicality and also feasibility on the things that I learned. I also reflect on the past experience and lesson learned to ensure that I'm not doing the same mistake again. So now let us move on to the second test. It is about Big 5 personality test. This test mainly talks about personality that falls into 5 categories. First, I am a conscientious person. This reflects that I am an honest and also hardworking person. I am also score high in the agreeableness. It reflects how well individuals adjust behavior to others. So people who score high in those 2 categories considered as a polite, indirect, and also like to interact with people a lot. So now let's move on to the third test, which is the Enterprising Tendency Test or GET test. This test divided into big 5 categories. From the test, I have need for achievement. It has brought me to become optimistic with my future goal development. I am also categorized as a calculated risk-taking person. It reflects that I am not really optimistic about new things. Moreover, I will be more confident in taking opportunities after some careful thought and calculations of the risk that might happen. I got the high score at locus control or drive for determination. It has brought me to become a hard worker. So how would those personal traits is going to affect my behavior within a team? To answer this, I conduct the Belbin's 9 team role test that consists of 9 different traits. And according to the test, I am actually a team worker, finisher, as well as implementer. As a team worker, I am cooperative and able to work with people that come from different background and culture. I would like to listen well to other people's idea. Next is I am a complete finisher, which is actually aligned with my hardworking personality. Sometimes I took time to find errors and make sure everything is correct. It also shows that I am quite a perfectionist person and also a detail person. Last but not least, I am categorized as an implementer person. It shows that I am a disciplined, reliable, and also efficient. So to sum up, Belbin's 9 team roles test result shows me that I am a social and also action-oriented roles. So now let's move on to the last test. So what if I am being put in a leadership position? The last test is about leadership assessment that will help me to answer this question. So it consists of 9 abilities as a leader, and according to the test, I have strong skills in relationship building, communicating, and also negotiating. In negotiating, I have the ability to create decisions while respecting all other parties in a negotiation. In relationship building, I am able to get along with people and make friends easily. I create a good relationship with my friends to broaden my connections, which will be a better asset for my future plan. To be an effective leader, we should understand that we need more people to achieve something greater. It's also important for a leader to have skills to combine different working styles to make it work.
So now let's talk about why. In this part, I would like to know the answer of why should I discover myself. And to help me to answer these questions, I would like to use the 5 whys models.
So the first why is why should I discover myself? It is actually to know my core competence, then to discover my weakness and also strength. My second why is why core competence is crucial. It is because core competence has sustainable value and also broad capabilities which is essential for future development. The third why is why important for future development. Because core competence is the ability and capability that need to be developed and improved to gain competitive advantage. And the fourth why is why important as competitive advantage. It is because core competence is a unique capabilities that overcome others. So it is difficult to imitate and also to achieve long-term sustainability. And the last why is why important for sustainability. It is because core competence should be sustainable in order to achieve efficiency and also flexibility in executing the strategies.
So those are my 5 whys about why I should know about myself. So now let us move on to how. And in these sections, I would like to answer the questions of how should I implement what I have learned. So to help me to answer these questions, I would like to use what, why, and how framework.
So this what, why, and how framework will answer the question about what have I learned, and then how do I implement what have I learned, and also why is it important to determine my vision, mission, and also value. What have I learned is related to the knowledge that I have gained during my study in International Business Management program. So those knowledge are hourglass, concept diagram, 6 thinking heads, and also 8 A's from IBM, IMM, GSM, and also MNENG course that were taught by Professor Dr. Chen. So the next one is how do I implement what I have learned? To help me to figure this out, I would like to use the IPO diagram. The output here is my vision, mission, and value. My vision is to be a successful and also impactful businessman. My mission is to bring myself in international scope and inspiring people. While my values are hardworking, passionate, and also persistent. And after knowing what are the outputs, I have to know my input in order to achieve my vision, mission, and value. So my input here is the knowledge that I learned, especially theories and also frameworks. And after knowing my input, I also need to know how to implement my knowledge in order to get my output, which is through process. So the process or my stepping stone are first to get my assignment done. Then the second is to graduate with a high GPA, and the third one is to get a sustainable and promising job position. And in order to execute well my process, I need to have holistic thinking, system thinking, and also critical thinking, which will help me to gain skills to integrate, innovate, and also implement my strategies in order for me to improve to be a better person. And moreover, I also need to monitor my score in order to have an improvement. And the next one is, why is it important to determine my vision, mission, and also value? So first is actually to provide guideline where I'm going, plan to get there, and also the standards of how to operate. Second, vision, mission, value can be a lens to help me to have a helicopter view and holistic perspective. And the third one, it will enables me to have critical thinking to execute the right decision-making process.
So So now I will explain about who. After knowing my core competence, it's also important to know who support me and also bring influence in my life. So I would like to answer the questions of who will support me to achieve my goals.
So first, individual referring to who I am will determine my core competence to execute my vision, mission, and value. Second, my organizational experiences that I got will shape me to become a qualified person. While for the stakeholder, it's divided into two important roles, which are family and also friends. Family here is the one that motivates, support, and always there when I need help. Meanwhile, friends are those who give input and advice to evaluate myself.
So next is when. In these sections, I would like to know the answer of when should I implement my core competence. So to help me to figure this out, I would like to use the GOT diagram.
So my goal here is to be a successful and also impactful businessman. My objective is to bring myself in international scope and inspiring people. Well, for my target year, I categorize them into first year, third year, fifth year, and also 10th year. So in my first year, my target is to graduate from Petra Christian University. Then in my third year, I will gain new experiences by working in big companies. In the fifth year, I would like to establish my own company. And last, for my 10th year, my target is to be able to expand in international scope.
So now let us move on to where. It's also important to know where should we improve. So these sections will cover where went right and also where went wrong for myself.
For myself, where goes right is that I have been accepted in a well-known company for internship program. This will be my first step in pursuing my goals. However, where went wrong is that currently I am at level between contributing team leader and competent manager. So I still need to pursue to be a master of change.
So now let us move on to the last part of this presentation. I will answer the questions of how much have I developed myself. And in order to figure this out, I would like to use 80-20 rules model.
Currently here, I am using 80% of my knowledge to get only 20% of success. However, I need to develop myself more in order to get 80% of success by only utilizing 20% of my knowledge.
So this is the end of my presentation. I have assessed myself, developed my future plan, and also explained about how to achieve my goals. So I hope you can learn something from this video, and I'm Wijaya. Thank you.